Hello and welcome to episode 50 of our Ostriv Alpha 4.7 Let's Play. It's December of 1801. We have 2,329 people in our town. And we're starting to kind of run out of space. This is the only area of the map that is currently undeveloped. There's obviously some trees here that can be removed. And there's some other stuff we could possibly do infill development in down here and in this general area. But we're kind of getting down to the wire on space available to build. I don't know if we're going to be able to get another 671 people in here. We're going to try. But all this stuff up in here you might not be familiar with seeing because we did that on our last live stream, which we had last week. As of the posting of this video, it went pretty well. Game crashed a couple times, but we got through it, and we added a whole bunch more forestry stuff to try and keep our firewood supply high. Added a bunch of houses and a couple of small improvements as well. And there's actually still some that we're waiting to build here. We got these two here, and then there's 6 up here. It's winter, so it's kind of hard to see. I know it's a little bit irritating, and the game is running rather poorly because, oh, surprise, surprise, you have this many people in a town. It probably doesn't like that very much. Along with all these trees we've put everywhere. Doesn't really make for a super stable game running experience, but it's kind of hard to be mad about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep putting some houses down and do a couple of time lapses today, since there's not really a whole lot else we can do outside of just putting stuff down and waiting. You'll notice we have a ton of forestries here because we had a major crash of our firewood supply. But I think now we're going to be okay because we have 202,000 firewood saved up, and we have all of these that are growing and being used for harvesting. So should be a-okay in that regard. And we have a couple other places that could possibly use a little bit more development. We'll get there. But I think for now, once these houses that are built are constructed, we're probably not going to need to build too many more houses with the gardens because we have so many other foods for sale at the markets. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get by with just having regular village houses without gardens. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get started putting in some of these in clusters that don't have any gardens with them. So we just need to find a pretty good spot for that. We did put a tavern in here, another one. So this area right here pretty much has everything you'd need. Giant market, you have a tavern, you have a school, you have a church, you have some areas for jobs, and we'll be adding more industry and stuff over here as well. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do, I don't want to put too many more trees in here because I think that's going to cause the game to crash because there's just so much going on. But I think what we can go ahead and do, nope, not that button, that's the wrong game. We'll go ahead and put in clusters of houses in different locations and give people an opportunity to have a little bit of a closer environment with their neighbors. Not going to cram them in too bad, but anytime we can do a little bit of density, it's probably a pretty smart idea, in my opinion. Put a couple of these here. And then if I have room, if I did this correctly, I've got room to put a well here, which I sure did do that correctly. Good. That's good to see. Those won't take nearly as long to build because, of course, they don't have all the gardens and everything to worry about. And they're a lot closer together. And our new construction office that we just put in over here is going to be nice and close. So we've got 8 houses here added to these guys right here. We'll go ahead and put in a couple more things on this side. We have this cart shed. We have a cart parking. We need to order some carts for, so we'll go ahead and do that. There is a carpentry right here that theoretically should be able to take care of a lot of that stuff. And if we examine our production over here, we actually don't have a lot of clothing, which I think we probably should go ahead and put in a little bit more infrastructure for that. So why don't we go ahead on the end of this thing right here, go into our production, and put in a weaver's workshop. A couple of them, probably. Yeah, we'll pop in a pair of weaver's workshops right here to make the cloth, and then some tailor's workshops. I think I can fit these right side by side like so to make all the clothing. That'll be nice right there. We'll go ahead and pop in some benches as well next to where I know the well, it's not going to show me where the doors are going to go, but we'll get some put in on the side of the buildings here, and people will be able to sit and relax, and that is always a good thing. So we have quite the building queue. Let's go ahead and do our little time-lapse thing here, and we'll be back right after that ends. See you on the other side. Okay, so it appears these guys have gotten stuck again, which is annoying, but whatever. We have all these houses done, these over here done, and we also have these two weaver's workshops that we're going to go ahead and copy our settings for and get those going. And our tailor's workshops seem to be stuck kind of in limbo here now that people are starting to get stuck again, which is always fun when that happens. So let's do a couple of quick improvements here to this area. We'll put some fences in between our houses here. Center it a little better, just to stop people from going through the backyards as a shortcut. Then we'll do same over here. And with that, folks, we are going to save and restart the game. Give it a fighting chance to keep up. We're taxing it pretty hard, I think. But we'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Give the game a chance to reload. My God, is it struggling. Here's our cluster of guys. Moving on out. Hopefully we'll be able to get the tailor's workshops built relatively quickly here. And we can do a little bit more to dress up this area. I don't want to put in too many more trees until we're done, because I feel like that's just going to make the game go even worse. But we do have a nice little cluster here, and we can finally start thinking about just where we want to put the farm that's going to go up here, because I want this whole thing, pretty much this entire top corner is going to end up being fields, kind of like how we have this one right here. And then the farm building itself will have to go somewhere, obviously. I think I can fit 4 full-length fields over here before we get to all these trees. So we will find out what that's going to entail. But in the meantime, I think we can kind of begin organically building that way, because we're still in good shape to have all the food we need. Although some things are starting to get a little bit low, but not to the point where we're going to have to be worried about anything. So we also need to go and check our production buildings and make sure that there's aren't any with any vacancies. Looks like we're okay. Probably a good idea to check on our cow sheds as well. Yeah, we can slaughter some of these guys. They are just taking up space. Oh, okay, yeah. This is what happens when you don't do this for a little while. Yeah, get rid of all of these guys. That'll clear the way for a lot more... Actually, we can't get rid of him because he's the only one that can reproduce. Looks like we're going to be good to go with that one. And I think that's going to do it for that one. Yep. Not too many more, don't worry. Yeah, this is going to be big help to getting things back on track over here. Okay, it's looking good. Just a couple more here. And I think that's it. Cool. So it's always good to take the time to take care of that stuff so you don't get caught off guard. And I think over here, we can put in a couple of these houses without gardens because there is a market nearby. There's a couple markets nearby, actually. So let's go ahead and get this all nice and filled up. Leave plenty of space in the middle. I think... Oh, it's not showing the flags very well. I believe I can get 2 more in here. Yeah, that's going to be nice. And they're going to be finishing the tailor's workshops pretty soon, so we'll be able to take care of that as well. I think we can leave that whole side like so, and then do one of these numbers over here. Make this just a little bit different. It is kind of hard to see where all the entrances and stuff are supposed to go, but we'll get that taken care of, no worries. Got that there, and then I think we have room on the end for a, let's put a well here. So everybody can partake in some water. Should be okay to do that. That'll add another couple of families over here. All right, and then they're working on this. Go ahead and go to 5 times speed. Let them finish this up. And there we go. So, you know the drill. Go to the previous tailor's workshop, hit apply to all, and hit apply to all. And that'll take care of that. These are ready to go, except there is no hemp for textile production, hemp or flax, and that's going to be probably most of what we grow up here when we put this farm in, is going to be hemp and flax. So we've got these houses here. Once those are done, we will most likely put in more to the north of them. But for the time being, this is a strange pattern of tree growth and harvesting here. For the time being, I think we might be able to go ahead and put in a farm up here. Just because it's August and we want it to start by the next spring. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a field from this farm first, and I'll tell you why in a second. But we'll go ahead and add one up here in the very corner of the map. Starting quite literally in the very corner, we'll come out to our 50 units. And then from there, we will actually start our 50 units right here. Try to make this at least somewhat level. We'll see if we got our distance judging correct on the right side as soon as this lets me place it. Looks like it. Oh, bang, that's perfect. All right, so the reason we aren't putting a farm down first is because I want to make sure I get the maximum size of fields up here in this corner of the map and not have to worry about removing stuff. So I can always add a field from this farm and then just reassign it to another farm later. That is going to be the correct strategy here. Now, if I did this correctly, no, not quite, just a little too long. There we go, that's another 50. Come over here, do the exact same thing again. Now, what I've done here is I've actually not gone far enough forward to get our 50 units. So we're going to have to come forward just a little bit more. Try to squeeze this in here. It's probably not going to let us. So we'll try that again. Okay, there's the 50. There we go again, 2,500 units. This might be a little irritating and boring, but that's it's just the way it goes here. Got to make sure this is as big as possible because we're not going to have space to probably put another farm if we want to still have possibility of getting to 3,000 residents, which I am not entirely convinced is possible, but we're going to try. Still not 50, all right. Sometimes it's hard to judge distance like this. There we go. All right, now which side is too long? The upper side, really? Okay. Somehow I don't think that's accurate. Okay, so now this is not too far. I know this is the most riveting content that you didn't know you needed. There we go. All right, so there's 4. 4 fields right there. How are they doing on houses? Yep, those are coming along. There's 4 fields, and we're going to do another 4, and then we'll build the farm. Reassociate everything, and we should be good to go. We'll leave just enough space in the middle here. Now, if I did this correctly... almost, here we go. Very cool. And it's not going to be perfectly straight, but like I've said many times before, that is A-okay. All right, now. Nope, too long. Okay, that's not long enough. All right, let's try that. Nope, not quite. Try that. Not quite. The struggles we go through to make the exact perfect farm plots, I tell you. Let's get our 50 piece here. And this still might end up, if you look at it the right way, still might end up not being perfectly square, which is, again, just the way these things go. You're not always going to be perfect. But you can sure try. Almost. There we go. One more. And there's not necessarily a rule that says you have to have 8 fields. I just find myself building these farms with 8 large fields. Just the way we've kind of always done it. And there hasn't been a compelling reason for me to try something else. So we'll just keep doing it this way. Is that going to get us our 50? Not quite. But that is cool. So we have 8 fields way up here in the corner. Which means that right next to the entrance, we will put our farm building right there, if it will let me place it. Put our farm building right there. Looking good. And then, of course, right next to the farm building, we're going to put in, for storage purposes, Put in a couple of granaries right here. I believe these will still fit. Yep, put those two there. And then I think we're going to need a couple of warehouses because the flax and the hemp do not go in a granary. Granary. Somebody got really irritated at me once because I said granary like an American instead of the British pronunciation of it. So, fun channel history for you there. All right, so this is a work in progress. That's going to take a little bit of time to build. Probably won't be until the winter shows up, but right here we have a little bit of houses taking shape, working very nicely. We'll give these guys a chance to finish up, and then we'll go ahead and get all the farm stuff taken care of. This shouldn't be too much longer, unless these guys decide to just T-pose, or I guess this is A-posing, to be specific. There's probably like 3 different guys. There we go. Honestly, the fact that this game doesn't crash more is extremely impressive considering the amount of abuse people give it in making these insane towns that defy all sort of logic when it comes to city building. Cannot wait for Alpha 5. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Again, don't know when it is, so we'll just have to wait and see. But we've got plenty to do in the meantime to keep us occupied between this and our other things we're taking a look at. So they're just about done here. They'll put in a well, and then they'll start building the farm. And then we're going to assign the fields, and that's probably going to take us pretty much to the end of today's episode. Assuming they actually come and build this well. Okay, looks like they are. Just go ahead and set this just for citizens, and let's come take a look at the farm. I have a feeling it might take them a while to get over here. But you can see how much space this farm takes up is actually quite a bit, although less than I thought originally was going to be taken up. We're going to be hard-pressed to get 3,000 people in this map, but we are sure going to try, let me tell you. We shouldn't need to build any more reforestation areas, and once these trees are all gone, we should have plenty of wood and plenty of firewood. We are still flush with wood. We have, sheesh, we have like 59,000 planks. We have 243,000 firewood. I think we're going to be okay. One thing we're never going to be able to escape is this message, no plot for burial, because we just don't have the space to put cemeteries really anywhere else. We can't build another church. We don't have enough stone to do that. So now we're just kind of waiting. Build out as much as we can and then find a place to put another cemetery or a graveyard or something. Still waiting. Hopefully next update we get some sort of a modular cemetery or other death handling building that will help reduce the amount of individual gravestones we have to place. That is quite annoying. Farm shouldn't be too terribly much longer, and then we get to assign all the fields, and hopefully we can get that done before winter sets in. They only have a couple of weeks to finish this, but I think they can get it done. While they're doing that, let's take a look at this messenger we've got here. We should have plenty of salt, and we do. We'll go ahead and buy some more iron ore. We'll always buy mead. Dried fish, we should have plenty. And we do. Sunflower oil, we can always sell. That's an easy one. Clothing, we have 3,240 in stock. We can sell that. Warm clothing, we actually probably shouldn't be selling warm clothing. We're going into winter, so we'll leave that alone. Raspberries. We don't have 2,000, which is weird that it would stop one short, but we can sell our onions and our carrots and our apples. I'm not going to sell our lime. And look, farm's done. So we'll go ahead and go down to single time speed. And need to link this to another farm. We'll do that. Just go in order here. These 4 fields. And then these bottom 4. Alright, and that's all taken care of. We are going to go ahead and copy all of our settings from the previous farm. Great feature that was added. I forget exactly when, but that was such an enormous help in trying to get stuff figured out. So what we're going to do first here is... Oh, I can't. That's right, I have to hire a manager before I can actually add a crop rotation. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with our hemp here, and then next season, of course, we need to make sure we're offsetting that. Oh, I forgot about barley. That's related to brewing. We haven't been worrying too much about that. I don't plan on playing this save in Alpha 5, so I don't think I'm going to be growing any barley just yet, but we'll go with some wheat. And then I think a 3-crop rotation like this should be adequate. We'll do the same thing. The next one right here, except we'll advance it 1 season. Activate it. We will do the same thing here. Advance it 2 seasons, which means that's going to be fallow. Activate it. And then I think we can do the same thing with flax. Although we really don't need any more wheat. So I think what we're going to do instead is do potatoes in this one. Activate it. We'll do the same for this one, just so they match. Looking at them, I know that's probably completely irrelevant. But we just want those 2 to go together. Then I think we probably don't need any more wheat. Let's check our, yeah, okay, we're good on wheat. We really don't need to add any more. So instead, let's do some sunflowers and some buckwheat. I think I can get away with doing a 5-year rotation on this one, if I remember correctly. So we'll do that for these last couple. Because we can always sell sunflowers. And buckwheat is very useful as well. And you know what? Just for the fun of it, why don't we do one that's barley and flax? And then just activate that on a 3-year rotation. Just because we can. So we're going to supply for the oxen, then we'll go ahead and order because it will take them a while to make. But if we can get these people in here prioritizing the supply here, then I think we can go ahead and order these, and then once that's done, we will put a cap on today's episode. So I think I can see we probably actually need to put in, since we're already here, probably safe to go ahead and put in a well right here, just so our people don't have to travel so stinking far to get stuff done. We'll go ahead and order these. We don't have oxen to actually supply yet, so that is a-okay. We'll just find our way over to one of these cow sheds that hasn't slaughtered all their dudes right here. So we're going to turn those 2 and that 1. We need 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. We'll go to 1 more of these that has, okay, yeah. And that's going to do that. Here comes the snow. So hopefully by this point they've supplied adequately. We are going to be a-okay. We're going to turn this granary into, let's do potato storage. Just call it all sorts of potatoes. What's the capacity on these again? Is it 20,000? Yeah. Let's say 20,000 potatoes. And then this other one will end up being other stuff. And now all we can do is just wait. So while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and take care of some administrative stuff. Yeah, Ostriv videos are going to most likely continue once per week. Sometimes it'll be a live stream, sometimes it'll be a video like this. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have a brand new game that we've never featured on the channel. A developer reached out to me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, would you like to take a look at the game? Here's the link to the demo. And we'll go ahead and go through the demo together in that video that's going up tomorrow. And I think it's a pretty fun, whimsical take on a city builder. So I'm excited to put that out. And then probably Tuesday we'll start another Timberborn playthrough with the Iron Teeth faction, which I'm excited. I've never played those before, so that'll be a fun adventure for us to go through together. And of course, I always try to stream at least once a week over at twitch.tv/JCTheBeard. Would love to have you there for some lighthearted fun that is usually not city builders. Lately been playing more relaxing, chill games or just silly stuff. Yeah, I would love to have you over there. If not, happy to have you here on YouTube. All the same, love to have the interaction in the comments with everybody and just talk about these games or any other questions you might have about them. So we have this granary is all done. Let's go ahead and put in buckwheat and barley over here just to keep this all ready to go. Get that all set up. And I think that's going to be it for today's episode. So as always, thank you so much for watching. It's a great pleasure to be able to do these and interact with everybody. And I hope we will see you tomorrow for this new game, and then later on in the week for more Timberborn, and of course Ostriv when that makes its way back around as well. It's always a fun time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.